Hello everyone, my name is Mordecai and today I'm going to be talking about the history of drag while attempting to get into drag myself. Right, so our story begins with William Dorsey Swann in the late 1800s, who was the first person to name themselves the Queen of Drag. William was a former slave who threw massive cross-dressing balls and dances for other former slaves. William is actually the reason that we now have this association with drag and the queer community and the African American community. However, this association now meant that it was very frowned upon in society to be a cross-dresser or drag queen, meaning that it drove drag to underground illegal gay bars and people of colour safe spaces. Now we skip ahead a good few years to the early 1900s, a time where homosexuality was completely outlawed and punishable by death in many places. In order for a lot of same-sex couples to maintain public affection, many would get into drag, whether it was male dressing in female drag or females dressing in male drag. It secured safety to love who you love. Now we skip to the 1950s. Here, drag becomes performative. We see men dressing up in big wigs and singing or lip-syncing along to big pop hits. Here we saw the birth of drag kings too, queer women who would get in very masculine outfits and perform. Drag became a common form of entertainment amongst the underground gay bar community, as rights for LGBT members were still under extreme fire from the police and government. One of the most notable gay bars is the Black Cat Cafe in San Francisco, who hosted many drag queens in its time. With the 1960s came a lot of activism for LGBT rights, most notably the Stonewall Riots with Marsha P. Johnson and Storm de la Verdi, two African-American LGBTQ+ activists at the front line. At the time, Marsha P. Johnson identified as a full-time drag queen/crossdresser, which would now be considered being transgender. Storm, on the other hand, was a butch lesbian who did drag for entertainment. Although we've come very far in the community of drag, it's important to note the history of it, and I hope this video has helped you learn something. Ta-da!